Did you just impulsively sign up for your first craft market, but now you have no idea what to bring? Don't worry, I've been there. In this video, I'm breaking down all of the crochet items I bring to every single market, like best-selling plushies, quick accessories, and cute wearables. And I'll even share the patterns I use so you're not starting from scratch. Let's get you prepped, confident, and ready to sell. Hello everybody, my name is Rihanna, and today I want to talk to you guys about everything that I bring to markets, including patterns. I will say this little disclaimer, just because what I bring to a market sells well doesn't mean that it will for you, and just because something sells well for you in your market doesn't mean it will sell well in mine. But I think it's helpful to give a overview of what I bring to markets, just in case you're like, I've never been to a market before, I have no idea what will sell. So if this is your first time market prepping, oh my gosh, congratulations for getting into a market. That is such an accomplishment that I feel like nobody ever talks about, so congrats. If this isn't your first market, but you're looking for things to just refresh your table space, then welcome. I hope this will be helpful to you. Go ahead and pull out your little note-taking device. We need to take notes here. And maybe you're a work in progress, and yeah, let's get on with it. Alright, the first thing that I want to talk about is my very small accessories, things that sell for less than $10 and are mostly the things that people come in and purchase at the last second. They're not really like the main thing people buy. So the thing that I sell for the least amount of money is scrunchies. I'll put a little like video of me holding all of the colors that I sell. These I sell for $6 each, but for scrunchies I like to do a little bit of a deal type thing where if you buy one scrunchie it's $6, if you buy two it's $11, and if you buy three it's $15. So that encourages people to buy more scrunchies, and I've actively seen this sale work. Before I'll talk to people if they look at the scrunchies or pick one up. I'll be like, hey, just so you know, if you buy multiple they're cheaper, $5 each if you get 3. And this can be split up between you and other people in your group if you want to, and lots of people have done it that way. So there's a little tip for you, a little money-making tip. And I think one of the most important things whenever you're doing something like scrunchies or really anything accessory-wise is the more colors the better. Now, I'm saying this knowing we are not machines. We are hand-making all of the products that you put on a booth. You are putting in time, effort, and money into each and every product. So it totally makes sense if you're not gonna have like a million different options for people to choose from. That being said, I have 16 options for scrunchie colors. Scrunchies are really fast to make. For me, I can make them in less than 15 minutes, which is really good for building up stock and things like that. And I would also recommend bringing more than you think you will sell for literally every item. If you think, oh, people love neutral colored things, so like our cream, white, and black scrunchies are probably going to sell more than my neon orange scrunchie. So you're gonna wanna make more of those types of scrunchie colors, and so I normally bring about 5 of those scrunchie colors, and then I bring 3 of the others. You have to be really smart about what you're bringing because it takes up space. And you also have to be thinking like you don't want to use up yarn in a scrunchie color that doesn't sell. So although you want to keep stock, you don't want to keep so much that it becomes a waste of space. This pattern that I use for my scrunchies is the Crochet Velvet Scrunchie tutorial from Passionate Kelsey. I literally watch her all the time, and she makes a lot of amazing things. So if you love to watch crochet YouTubers, you should check her out if you haven't, because she's really entertaining. And she comes out with a lot of tutorials that are for patterns that are really nice. So that's what I use for scrunchies. The second thing that I bring to all of my markets are keychains, and I bring 2 different types. The first type is a flower puff keychain. I bring these in 5 different colors. All of my flower puffs, all of my keychains sell for $8. I've been thinking about bringing it down some, but my other keychain takes a little bit longer to make, and so I'm kind of sticking with that $8 price range for that one. And these do sell. They don't sell quite as much as some of my other things because I think most people see it and they're like, an $8 keychain, are you kidding me? Which I totally understand, but you have to pay yourself according to the work and how much it costs, because the metal costs money and the yarn costs money. So pay yourself accordingly. Also, I do lip balm holders, which are infinitely more popular than the flower puff keychains because they are useful. People will tell you this over and over again. You need to find the useful things. You need to like latch onto those things, because a lot of people are going through the market and they're seeing things, no shade, they're seeing things like 3D printed art. They're seeing things like, I don't even know what to say. They're seeing a lot of things that are just there for decoration. They take up space and they don't really serve a purpose. So if you can stand out amongst the other booths with something that actually has a purpose that will make their life easier and better, you are much more likely to make a sale than someone who does not. So my lip balm holders are like a really top seller for me, and I'm sure that they would be even more so if I sold them for less. But like I said, you have to pay yourself accordingly. So I bring those, I think I bring 6 different colors, and I bring 2 of each for both of my keychains. So flower puffs and lip balm keychains, I bring 2 of each color that I bring. So that's about 10 of my flower puff keychains, and then I bring 12 lip balm holders. So the lip balm holders I use from a Jen Hayes Creations tutorial on YouTube, which will be linked below. That one is incredibly helpful, and these keychains work up very quick. They are a little bit time consuming because you have to use pretty small yarn for it, but they work up quick. The Crochet Flower Puff keychain is also on a YouTube tutorial, and that's from the Crochet Pink Pumpkin YouTube. Or you can also use hobby.com. They have a tutorial as well if you're more into written patterns, which I am as well. And then now we're gonna get on to Alright, so to start off for the stuffies, I'm going to start off with my bees, which I sell for $12. A lot of my stuffies are in the $12 to $20 range, unless it's like a special thing that I decide to do. But these are my bees. This is a gold one. I also sell a like pastel yellow type of bee, and that one's actually more popular than the gold one. I would have thought the opposite because this looks more like an cartoon bee than the pastel one, but people like pastels. I mean, me too. I'm not judging. But the bee is very, very popular, especially during the summer. You'll probably see somebody making these bees in every crochet market video because they're just very popular. I will say lately they haven't been doing as well, but I think that's because I've been doing the same market now for a couple months, and so people are returning and they've either already bought it or they just weren't interested in the first place. So it might run its course soon for me, but there's no harm in trying, for sure. This pattern, let me see. I actually, there are so many patterns for this one, but none of them were like as fast as I wanted or as small as I wanted. And so I actually freehanded this after trying out a bunch of different patterns. And so basically all I do is I start with 6 single crochets in a magic ring, or the chain 2 method, and then increase on the second row in all stitches, so you'll have 12 stitches there. And then you do a single crochet increase all the way around. I think that's 18 stitches. And then after that you do 2 rows of normal, so it's just 18 stitches around. Then you'll change to the black yarn, do 2 more rows of black, change to yellow, 2 more rows, then do a row of black, and then single crochet, invisible decrease, and then decrease around. That's how I make my bees. If you want a more detailed explanation, I could make a tutorial in the future. Just let me know in the comments, but that's basically it. And then the wings, is just chain 2 method magic ring, whichever you prefer. And then I do a half double crochet, 3 double crochets, half double crochet, slip stitch. That's it, and then I close it. So that is how I do my bees, and they are a bestseller all the time. The next thing that I'm going to show you is definitely my top bestseller of all time. I've sold more Leggy frogs than any other thing ever. And yeah, that's the normal Leggy frog that you see everywhere. It's everywhere, dude. This one's specifically in medium green, and I sell these in 3 different colors. I sell a light green, a medium green, and a dark green Leggy frog. These are also $12. I sell them for $12. And this is from AnitaLouiseCrochet.com, which will be linked down below. And yeah, I think that this pattern is the cutest out of all of the ones that I searched and combed through. There are a lot of ones that look like super dorky, which is great if that's what you're going for, but I just think this one's like so cute. And the legs do curl up, but like just like if you were uncurling ribbon, if you just like straighten them out, they straighten out, so it's fine. But yeah, and I always, whenever people walk towards these or pick them up, I always tell them people love to use their arms and legs to tie them around things like backpack straps, purse straps, rear view mirrors, basically anything you can tie them around. And that always helps them make a decision to buy one, because who doesn't love tying a little Leggy frog? It's like a best friend for your. And then I want to talk about my ducks, which are another bestseller. What can I say? These I also sell for $12, and I don't know which one's more popular. When I first started selling them, these were definitely the more popular one, but lately these have been selling way more than the yellow ones have. They are also freehand, where I just saw a bunch of different patterns and I was like, none of these are exactly what I want. So if you want to make a duck just like I do, all you have to do is do the same thing that you do with the bee, except do one more round where you do 2 single crochets and increase, so you get to 24 stitches. Or you can start with 8 single crochets in the magic ring and then get to 24 that way. But then I do 3 rows of single crochets all the way around, and then I do 7 single crochets, and then I do a bobble stitch, 9 single crochets, bobble stitch, and then finish the single crochets. Then go around twice actually. Go around twice, and then I think it's like 10. I don't really count the stitches over here to get to the feet of the duck. What I do is I make sure that there are 4 stitches in between the feet and it's centered between the 2 wings. So yeah, then you do those 2, then you do finish that round, and then you do single crochet, decrease, and then decrease all the way around. So yeah, that's how I do my ducks. The next thing that I want to talk about are my chickens, which I don't have any with me, but I sell them in 3 different varieties, but I'm about to add a 4th and I'm really excited about it. You'll probably see that soon. I don't know, I might have a picture of the 4th variety that I'm adding, but I might not, so don't sue me if I don't. If I don't, I'll put the picture of the yarn I'm planning to use, and you can use your beautiful imagination to imagine it. But I sell these for $15, so this is the first jump in price. I sell these for $15 each, and I use the Stellar Crafts YouTube tutorial. It is basically the same as the Oak and Marlowe crochet tutorial, but it's free, so yay! But I sell these in cream colored, a white speckly color. This is the speckle yarn I use. It's Bernat. I use Bernat in basically all of my amigurumi. I started off with Loops and Threads, Sweet Snuggles Light, and Home Chenille yarn Slim. But obviously those were discontinued, so I've been making the switch to Bernat, and honestly I can say that I like Bernat a lot more. It doesn't fray as much, it doesn't leave a bunch of yarn babies everywhere, and I like the colors a little bit more. So this is the yarn I use for my speckled chickens, and then I also sell a blue chicken. This is because I am an avid Stardew Valley fan, And it's not as popular as the other two, obviously, but when somebody walks up and grabs it and they're like, oh my gosh, is this from Stardew Valley? Immediate sale. And it's very like nonchalant about it too, which I personally like. I don't like merchandise that is like in your face, like this is from Stardew Valley. So I find them very, very adorable. And it also is a great conversation starter because people will be like, why is there a blue chicken? And it's like, well, if you play a game that I love very much. I'm sure you've seen other YouTubers talk about it as well, but they do very, very well. And they, even if they're not selling, they are drawing people in. People will be like, oh my gosh, the chickens. The next little thing I want to talk about are my cows. She's so cute, I can't take it. I sell these in 4 different varieties. I started the 4th variety literally this week, so it'll have its first debut on my market this Saturday, so I'm excited about that. But I sell a black and white spotted cow, a speckled cow with the same yarn that I use for my chickens, a brown and white spotted cow, and a pink and white spotted cow. So basically whole milk, chocolate milk, and strawberry milk. I know, it's genius, But I sell these for $15. You'll notice that they're about the same size as my ducks, but they are $3 more, and that's because they involve a little bit more, as you can tell. There's a lot of color changes, there's a lot of different colors, 4 different colors in one plushie, and the pattern is a little bit more intense. I wrote this pattern myself, and the cows have been doing extremely well at my market so far. I only brought 5 and I only had 2 left whenever I left my market last week. And yeah, everybody loves them. Even if they didn't buy them, they were like, oh my gosh, the cows, are you kidding? And they love them. So if you want that pattern, it is on my Ko-Fi. I sell a lot of my patterns there. And then to go along with that, from the same pattern, I sell my pigs at markets too, which these are doing so well at markets. I think I also sold 3 at my last market, which is a lot. And yeah, they are very, very cute. People are just like, oh my gosh, the pigs. They're always choosing between the pigs and the dinos, which I'll talk about later. And they can't choose. They're always like, I don't know which one to choose. They're both so adorable. So yeah, pigs are a really good seller at markets. With all of these patterns, even if they don't sell, they're cute enough to just bring people into your booth and look around, which is very, very important. Even if you don't make a sale, you're still making an impression. And those people might remember you and pull out the business card that you give them and make a purchase later. So very important. Both of these are in my farm animal bundle on my Ko-Fi, which you can go check out in the link below. Yeah, I think if you buy them individually, they're $3, and if you buy them in a bundle, it's $6. And there's one more in that bundle, it's a sheep, but I just haven't had time to make enough sheep to bring to market yet, so that's why I don't bring them to the markets, but I will. I'm excited to start doing that. And then the other thing I want to talk about is this is the pickle that I make and bring to markets. I didn't follow a pattern, I just did 6 single crochets and then increased around, and then single crochet, increase, and then you single crochet around. Every once in a while you'll add in a bobble stitch. That's basically it. But yeah, these have done pretty well at my markets. They aren't really a bestseller. They don't like sell out ever, but they do bring a lot of people in because I keep them in a glass jar. You'll see the glass jar somewhere. I don't know. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, is that a pickle? I'm like, yes, it is. And then sometimes I'll be talking with somebody because I'm a pickle lover. I love pickles. My boyfriend does not like pickles, and so I'll always steal his. And so basically I'll get to talking with people and find out who loves pickles and who doesn't. And it's always great to have things that start conversations like that, because then they get to see that you're a real human. You're a human too. You're a person. And yeah, having conversation starters is a excellent selling tactic. But it's also just more fun when people talk to you. So yeah. So the next item is definitely my second bestseller of all time. And it actually, whenever I pull it up in Shopify, it says it's my bestseller, but that's just because I sell it for more than the Leggy frogs. I actually sell more Leggy frogs, but I get more money from my mushrooms. Now you will notice that a lot of people do pop mushrooms and things like that, but I think these are cuter, if I'm being honest. And I legitimately, unless I would purchase it myself, I don't put it in my booth. So I love these mushrooms so much. They are adorable. I also kind of free-handed this pattern, but I made a tutorial of it on my YouTube channel, which will be linked, that you can follow along. It uses a size 6 yarn, I think, or size 7. Yeah, size 7 yarn for the cap and a size 6 for the body, which gives it the more like oversized cap look that I think looks a lot better than if you use the same size yarn personally. But yeah, I sell these for $15. Everything I've talked about since the chickens, everything's been $15. The next thing that I want to talk about are my dinos. And yeah, these are an incredible seller. I sell these for $15 as well. And they are incredibly easy and fast to make. Yeah, this pattern is Dylan the Dino on Pinterest. But some of the stitches on the actual Pinterest like picture are wrong. So it takes a little finagling, but all of the comments explain like what stitches are wrong and how to fix it. And when I say wrong, I don't mean like they're wrong, but like there's typos, if that makes sense. But yeah, once you figure out the pattern, I would fix it myself, but that would be taking the credit away from the original person, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, once you figure out the actual pattern, it's a breeze and goes by really quickly. And yeah, these pull a lot of attention. I put them on one of my like top shelves, and everyone loves them. Oh, like I said, always choosing between a dino or the next thing I want to talk about are my turtles. They're so cute. I sell them in 5 different colors, all pastels, so green, pink, purple, blue, and yellow, and all of the colors do well. I sell these for $20 because they are way more involved than any of my other plushies are. You have to sew, not sew. It's no sew actually, so that's why I use this pattern. You have to make the head and the 4 fins, and then the shell, and then you put the body together. You crochet the fins on and the head on, and it just takes some time. So I sell these for $20 and they still sell very well. This turtle pattern is from Friendly Red on fox.com. It will be linked below, so you don't have to look it up or anything. They advertise it as like a mini turtle if you like use smaller yarn, but if you use big yarn, it is relatively pretty large, as you can see on my hand. And that will be the end of the plushie section of this video. Plushies are very popular for a reason at markets because they sell really well. People love plushies, and they're normally really quick and easy to make, especially if you use thick blanket yarn like Bernat Blanket or other brands or options. All of these items do very, very well in my market. There's not really a single one of them where I just don't really sell that many, because if that happened, I would stop selling them and choose something else, because your table space is very, very valuable. You don't want anything on your table taking up space that just doesn't make any sales. Get rid of it. Stop selling it. Start giving it out for free and replace it with something else. These are the reasons that people go to my booth. So if you're not a plushie lover or you're a plushie hater, maybe try 1 or 2. Just see what happens, because they're a bestseller for a reason. All right, we're gonna take a breather in this video. Hydration break. Please go find yourself some water. Water's important. And if you're crocheting, you should probably take a stretching break. So drop what you're doing. Stop crocheting. Give your hands and wrists a break, bro. Do a little stretch. Little stretches. Just give them a breather. They've been working so hard for you. You should probably stretch every hour at least. So I know I don't. So that's your reminder to stretch and take a breather. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is my first thing that I bring to markets in this category are my market bags. This is from Leggy Crochet on YouTube. I don't know how I'm pronouncing that. I hope it's correct, but it'll be linked, so it doesn't matter how I pronounce it. And these I sell for 20. I've only ever sold one of them. They're not like a huge seller or anything, but I think that people gravitate towards them because it's a market. But I think the fact that they're 20 probably is the reason why a lot of people don't buy them, because you can like buy a bag at Walmart for $5. But they are super cute and they bring a lot of people into my booth because I usually hang them with my bandanas right at the front. The next thing is a small crossbody bag, but I mostly advertise these as water bottle holders because they basically are the perfect size for it. And this is my own pattern. It's I have a tutorial of it on YouTube, which I'll link, and you can watch it if you want to, or you can buy the pattern on my Ko-fi for $3 and support me. Thank you so much. Even watching this video is supporting me, so thank you. And if you like it, you should like the video and subscribe, which would support me even more. So, small business besties right here, you and me. But yeah, I sell these as water bottle holders. I've sold only one of these as well, but they do, like I said, just like my market bags, bring people in. The next thing is my bandanas, which I think I'm known for because I wear a bandana in every market video. I love them so much. I love making them, and I sell them for 25. I do think I'm gonna lower the price of these. I need to retime myself because I make all of my prices according to the amount of time that it takes me because I'm an incredibly fast crocheter. So I can do that. It wouldn't be $45 for me to make a bandana because it doesn't take me 3 hours to make a bandana. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But I'm thinking about lowering these to 20 because they just don't sell as well as I think they should, or that they could if they were a little bit cheaper. I'm thinking about lowering them to 20, but we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes if you watch my market vlogs. I freehand these, or you can follow one of my laced tutorials on my YouTube. It'll be also linked on my website. I have a tutorial for it, like a written out pattern on my website. As well for this, if you like this lace headband that I'm wearing, I also have that pattern on my website as well. And it's my first YouTube video, so that's pretty cool, I think. But yeah, so you can also, the one that I normally sell is a granny stitch bandana, but basically you just make a magic ring and chain 2 double crochets, chain 3 double crochets in the magic ring, then chain 2, turn your work, and do the granny stitch. I normally do it, I think, at least 10 repeats of that row, basically until the bandana goes here. But yeah, that is one that I sell, and when I say it doesn't sell as well, like, it still sells. Even at $25, I've sold probably 15 bandanas this year, so pretty good for the amount of markets that I've done. I sell these in all kinds of colors. I normally use the Loops and Threads cotton yarn. I recommend for all of your wearables and bags and things like that, use cotton yarn. Don't use acrylic, don't use anything else. Use cotton yarn because this stuff drapes like real clothes. This brand specifically can be a little rough depending on which skein you get, so it's always better to go in person for these to Michael's and feel all of the different ones to find the ones that's the softest. I love all of those colors. All of the colors do well. And then I sell them in like solid colors as well. And then the next thing that I sell are bucket hats. I don't know if you can see the one that's up there. It was the first bucket hat I ever made, actually. Let's bring her down. Yeah, this one isn't my favorite. I don't bring this one to sell. Oh my gosh, it's a disco. All the lights in here on me making it a disco. But yeah, I don't bring this one to markets because it's the first one I made and it's not my favorite. I mean, it's not like bad, but I just do a completely different method now and I like that one so much more. It doesn't take as long. Yeah, that's what they basically look like. I mean, they're a little bit better. I'll put an actual photo of the ones that I actually sell. Okay, I sell them for 30. And for my bucket hats, for the variated ones, which is basically just like a granny stitch. I use the knotting hook crochet pattern on YouTube, which will be linked. And then for the checkerboard bucket hats, which are my favorites, I use the Hooked on Homemade Happiness one. She has a website where she has a written pattern for it. Those are some of my best sellers on the accessory portion of this video. Now we're gonna get into the clothing part. Now all of these, I've only sold 2 clothing items in my entire time doing markets. Now I will say I didn't start bringing clothing items until March of this year. Yeah, March of this year. And I've only sold 2, and it is June currently. So these take the right audience. They take the right audience because if you're gonna sell clothing, you're gonna sell it for a price that's way higher than they could buy a sweatshirt somewhere else. Now, this isn't just any old sweatshirt, this is a handmade item, this is artisan. They're never gonna see anyone else wear this exact same outfit ever. Unless you're like crazy and there's another crochet artist out there that bought the same exact yarn and used the same exact pattern, but like I doubt it. I don't know. I doubt it. Anyway, people are willing to pay for that, but they're rare. They are extremely rare, especially at markets. I find that a lot of people at markets are there looking for cute little cheap things that they could buy. But do I bring clothes? Yes, because I think more than anything else, the clothes bring in the people. They do. They do. I can't count on both of my hands how many times somebody has pointed at my rack and been like, oh my gosh, and then pulled their friends in and they all come to my booth and then they buy like a stuffed animal. Like it just happens all the time. So I think it's worth it, but I also understand that it's not for everybody and clothes take a long time to make. So I like to find the patterns that are quick. Without further ado, this is my granny square halter top. This is not a pattern. I just kind of like in my brain came up with this. I don't know. But basically it's just 4 granny squares, one of which is a triangle, or if you're like me, I use the granny all-in-one yarn from Red Heart to make my granny squares, so I just fold one of them in half. I know, I'm lazy, I know. But basically it's just 4 granny squares that you put right here, and then you sew all of them together, and then you add straps. That's it. It is very, very quick. I sell these for $45, and I haven't sold any yet, but I have 2. I have a blue and white one, and I have a black and brown one, and people have picked them up. So I think they're really cute. And then I also have a chevron type halter top. It's basically just like I mean, look at the picture, don't look at me. And this one, oh my gosh, it brings so many people in. I think it's the most gorgeous thing I've ever made, but I'm gonna say that like 7 more times throughout the video. So I sell for $50, and it's from Christine's Day on YouTube, linked below, obviously. It is a beautiful, beautiful top. The one that I made is a bit modified from the tutorial on YouTube because I don't know, I just wanted it all to be the same instead of having like a strip on the bottom. And then the crop tops that I do, I have a white one and then one that's like red and brown and orange and yellow. I freehanded this. I followed, I think it's called the Sophia Creations or something like that. I'll tag it, obviously. I don't know why I didn't write this down. I used her for the cups and for the end frills, but everything in the middle I freehand, and just to make it longer because I wanted it more to be like a crop top instead of like a bralette. So I can't help you there with the middle part because I don't even remember what I did. But if you want something that's loosely around the lines of the crop tops I make, then it's the pattern that is linked below. I sell those for $55 because they are very intricate. They're beautiful, and I think that's what they're worth, so that's what I sell them for. Now I will say all of my clothing is not priced by time. It's just impossible. If I were pricing by time, all of my clothing would be over $100 and nobody's gonna buy that. So you win some, you lose some. And the next thing is a Hexagon color shirt. I only have one right now, but I want to make another because it's so fast and so easy and so fun. If you love Hexagon cardigans or Hexagon pullovers, you will love this pattern. It is basically the same, except you start with the sleeves. You start like here and you work your way in and then you add the sleeves. Yeah. So it's incredibly fast. It's the granny stitch. Peace, love, granny stitch. We love it here. And I sell this for $60 because it is a full shirt. Like, it goes all the way down. It's a shirt. I gotta sell it for a little bit more. This one I got on Yarn Inspirations, free pattern. It'll be linked. I think it's called like the Cabana shirt. The next one that I sell is a heart top, and this one I sell for $60 as well, just because it took so long. I got this off of Keniski Crochet on YouTube. Hers is a sweater, but I didn't want to make a sweater. I wanted to make a halter top, so I made it with a little bit of a modification. Now, could I tell you how I did that? No, I made it months ago. So I'm sorry, you'll have to figure it out yourself if you want to make it a halter top. But if you want to make it a sweater, then perfect. That's what the tutorial is for. But really, the only reason I used a tutorial is because I wasn't sure how to make the heart peekaboo shape. So then my mesh sleeves, I use a YouTube tutorial from It's Erin B, and it's just called Crochet Mesh Sleeves Tutorial. And this one I love so much. I love this pattern. Right now, the mesh sleeves that I have, because I sold the other mesh sleeves, not using that pattern, it was free-handed by me, but let me know if you want a pattern for the one that is free-handed by me. I'll put a picture up right now. And then lastly, the Granny Square Sweater Vest Classic. This is the other clothing item that I've sold one of. It was the green and orange one. If you remember it, it was beautiful. This one's really quick to make as well. I sell the Granny Square Sweater Vest for $60 because it is a whole sweater vest. Basically, there's no pattern. You basically just make two really big granny squares and then you connect them at the hips and at the shoulders, and then you add ribbing around the bottom and a row of single crochet around the neck hole and the armholes. But that's it. I'm sure there's a tutorial out there, but I don't follow one personally, so I'm not gonna like tag a random one that I haven't vetted to make sure that it's a good tutorial or a pattern. That's everything for what I bring to markets. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope you found a few patterns, or maybe all of the patterns that you've been looking for to bring to your next market as a crochet artist. If this video was helpful, please leave a like, comment your favorite pattern from this list, and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. By the time I'm filming this video, I'm 200 subscribers away from 1,000, and it would mean the world to me if you'd help me reach my goal. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.